welcome. You have tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Srishti Sharma, and with me today is Vinny Motiwala. And today is a brand new week, Vinny, and a fresh start for the indices as well.
And fresh highs, actually, Srishti, yes, that you could say.
Because there's been no stopping since the morning, Vinny. Look at the move, because Bank Nifty till now is holding a gains of over 400 points, and even Nifty, it's in a century on the Nifty 50 index in terms of points, and 19,300, close to that figure is what we are trading at. But nevertheless, we are shifting a bit low from the day's highest points, but the bulls are all in charge for the markets right now.
Absolutely, Shrishti, and just let's look at how the setup is even looking for the mid cap and the small cap space, right? That also is performing well and in tandem with the benchmark indices, especially the mid cap says yes, 0.4% in line, but the small cap space, that's doing quite well, and that, look at it as it's up more than 1% in trade as well. Sector wise, what's doing well, what's not doing well today? So what is missing the run up is the Nifty IT, that's down around 0.4% in trade, while other than that you see PSU banks, Nifty PSU bank, that is doing quite well in sectoral performance. Metals, overall we see that is also gaining with more than 1% of trade, greens coming in there. So most of them are trading in the green except for the Nifty IT, which is a bit subdued in trade today, down almost 0.4% in a trade. So yes, keeping an eye out on that one. In terms of individual movers in trade, let's watch out for some of the names that are coming in terms of the up move in the FNO space. You have L&T Finance Holdings, HPCL, IOCL, IDFC, BPCL, Mahanagar Gas, Gujarat Gas. All these names are doing well. The oil and gas names are surely something that is perked up in trade today. While among the losers also, what we have is some names like Moltech Technologies, Avance Holdings, Skipper, Surya Roshni, Persistent, Apollo Tires. We had a downgrade there coming in as well. So yes, keeping an eye out on these names, Shrishti. But auto space, and that's what you track closely, Shrishti, and that's what we're going to be discussing. Obviously, when it's first of the month, we have the auto sales numbers that come in. This time, how was the setup looking like? What is it? Because, we had that worry of that rural recovery in terms of the consumption side. Is that seen? Is that not seen? What is the indication that we are getting?
Vinny, so we are getting a sort of a mixed set of data when it comes to the auto sales, because when we especially talk about the rural recovery, then we have to look at the numbers from Maruti Suzuki, Hero MotoCorp, and these numbers have disappointed. So on the back of that, we could say that the rural recovery wasn't that great as expected, and especially when we talk about the two-wheeler space, that was keenly watched. Look at the move in all these two-wheeler counters, and there too we are seeing a bit of a disappointment in the exports data for Bajaj Auto as well as TVS Motors. So not much of a support from that segment as well. But when we look at the Eicher Motors numbers, then they have definitely outperformed the expectation when it comes to the premium motorcycles being sold out, and Eicher Motors Royal Enfield has outpaced the ET Now estimate. So that was the picture for two-wheelers specifically. But let's talk about the passenger vehicle segment. Like I highlighted, that the Maruti Suzuki numbers have disappointed, because we were expecting the number close to be 1.63 lakhs of unit, and the number was actually 1.6 lakhs. So a bit of a miss, because on a month-on-month basis there's a decline of 10%, and that's why we are seeing a bit of a red tick on that particular counter. But M&M and Tata Motors have actually outpaced the expectation, and even the commentary from them has come in good, because M&M just reported its numbers a while back, and they have clocked in 62,430 units in their automotive division. And when it comes to Tata Motors, then a sales uptick of 3% on a month-on-month basis is what we have witnessed. Coming to the commercial vehicle segment, because for the past 2-3 months post-March, we were seeing that the month-on-month sales were declining, but this time it was a bit of a surprise, because there has been an uptick of 16 to 18% for the numbers of Ashok Leyland and Tata Motors. They were actually above the expectation, and similar was the case for Eicher Motors, VECV. And lastly, from the tractor division, though the commentary was good, and M&M tractor division sales saw a growth of 30%, and for Escorts it was kind of a flattish one, but the commentary remains actually quite bullish. But Hero MotoCorp specifically will be in focus, as Hero and Harley Davidson, their first ever bike in collaboration, will be launched in India today, and we're going to be seeing the pricing as well. So that particular counter is something that we will be watching, and the company has also hiked the prices as well. So that was the picture picture that is panning out in the automotive industry, but a lot of stock specific action, as we know that the Nifty auto is sitting at its record high level, near to those levels. So let's understand what is the outlook going ahead and which are some of the best stocks that you can actually bet on. For that, we are being joined by two of our experts. Firstly, on the technicals, we are being joined by Kunal Bothra, as well as on the fundamental side, we have Ashish Maheshwari. A very good morning to both of you, and thank you so much for your time. Kunal, firstly, let me come to you, because a lot of counters giving a breakout, right from M&M to even if we look at Tata Motors, these counters are on a roll. But which are some of the fresh bets that are on your radar?
Good morning, Srishti. Good morning, everyone. So my sense is that the auto stocks and the rally which has started off for the auto names is not just a short-term rally or a rally which has started off a couple of weeks back. I think it's been a very strong thematic rally for the auto sector over the last 4 to 5 months. From the March lows, these stocks have done exceptionally well. So look at the pessimism which was around into the auto stocks. The likes of Tata Motors has just gone into a different league of an uptrend in the last 4 or 5 months. M&M has managed to resurface as well as showcase a very strong performance. Maruti is now inching towards a breakout of the coveted 10,000 mark. So there are a lot of stocks from the auto large cap pack itself which have looked attractive, as well as even from the auto anch space, the rally has been quite substantial as well as noteworthy. But I believe from current levels, if someone has to bet, I would believe Maruti could be the first stock which traders could look at a buy even at current levels of 9,500, 550 approximately. I would still believe that the stock could probably inch back above the 10,000 mark sooner, possibly in the next couple of weeks. Even the likes of M&M at 1450, 1460 mark looks attractive for a potential target of 1500, 1550 range. So a lot of stocks from the space looks attractive. It's now a choice that select fresh large cap names and with a time frame which one has to decide. But I believe from a medium to long term play, Tata Motors, Maruti, M&M, they still look very attractive from current levels.
Right, absolutely. That's the word coming in from Kunal on the auto space. But Ashish, when I come to you, when you look at it also, that autos, when you look at Nifty Auto, YTD, we had seen a very strong performance coming in. As of now, in terms of the sales numbers as well, when you look at it, Tata Motors, you see good set of numbers in the PVs coming in there, Eicher Motors doing well as well. M&M Auto, Ashok Leyland, all of them were above instead of the performance there. Mainly the big miss was, some missed that and some hits that came in were in the PV and two-wheeler space, and CV, that was outperformance. What is your indications on the fundamentals for the auto space? Do you see this run-up that we've seen YTD continue going forward? What is the stocks that you are looking at here?
As far as auto indices are concerned, if you see today, Nifty Auto Index has touched 52-week high of 15,291. So there's a secular bull run we have seen in as far as auto stocks are concerned. And again, auto stocks are, in fact, if you ask me, it is a proxy to how Indian economy is doing. So if you are bullish on India, there's no reason that you should not be bullish on auto sector per se. And we have seen very good buying across the board in almost all leading stocks, along with auto ancillaries also. And in my view, momentum will continue. Only some breather. I'm expecting that Maruti, Tata Motors, these are the stocks which have moved quite a bit in last quarter, can slightly consolidate at this level. This is my call on these frontliner stocks. As far as this quarter number, this last monthly sales numbers are concerned, except export disappointment, domestic sales are quite okay still. Only challenger Bajaj Auto, Motocorp, they are not able to show the kind of momentum other players are showing. So in my view, if we have to take few calls in this particular sector, now time has come to look at Eicher, because Royal Enfield has given their best ever monthly numbers in this particular month in June. Along with, I am liking now Ashok Leyland also. This is going to be a dark horse, because in spite of all odds and slowdown talk in CV space, this is again a stock which is getting momentum, along with good sales numbers are coming. And third stock here, which I like, is JBM Auto, on account of good demand coming from various municipalities for EV related buses, where they are prominent players. So my three picks are JBM, Ashok Leyland, and Eicher in this pack. And on some declines, we can always add Mahindra and Mahindra because the kind of sales they have shown in tractor as well as SUV segment, this is quite promising. But stock has seen very good run up, so I'll wait for some consolidation or some correction to add.
That's the take coming in from both of our experts on the auto space, and M&M is the consensus buy from both of them, wherein Kunal likes Tata Motors, Maruti as well as M&M, and Ashish is picking stocks like Ashok Leyland, JBM Auto as well as Eicher Motors. So that's the take coming in on the auto counters. Do have a look at that. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. As we come right back, it's time to take all your stock related queries. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now, a show where we get you answers for all your stock-related queries. And viewers, it's a simple process to connect with us. You can write to us on a WhatsApp number that will be flashing on the top of your screen, as you can also write to us on our Twitter as well as Facebook pages, official handles of ET Now, and we'll try to get our answers from the experts. Today on board, we have two of our experts, Ashish Maheshwari as well as Kunal Bothra. So let's get started taking all your queries then. And the first question that I have is for you, Kunal, and this question is from Ajay, and he wants your advice on Subros. He has bought these shares at a price of 470 rupees. He has 100 shares and wants to know what are the chances of the stock witnessing any more downside from this point in time as he's sitting at a loss. So wants your advice on what to do next.
So first things first, I think buying at 470 was a steep ask for a stock like Subros, because I remember I think the matter of 3 or 4 trading sessions, the stock had jumped up from 340 to 475, 500 approximately in a very short span of time. So that generally puts the indicators into overbought natures. Now, the other way to look out for is that from current levels, even if the stock retraces, it should at least come back towards 400 odd mark. That could be a good psychological test for Subros. So if you're looking to average, then I think 400 or slightly below those levels is a good point where you can look to average.
Okay, moving on to the next query then. This question is from a viewer. He didn't share his name, and Ashish, taking it from you, he has bought 40 shares of Star Health at a price of 348. He wants a medium-term outlook on this. He also has Vijaya Diagnostics 100 shares at a price of 464. He wants a medium-term outlook on this particular counter. His name is Raja Ashish. So what's your view on both of these names?
So Star Health, as far as is concerned, in my view, over a period of time, the stock has started showing some strength, because again, this insurance sector as such is looking promising, and this is again a stock we have seen has also appreciated by almost 100 rupees from its 52-week lows of around 470 or 480. So Star Health is a stock which you can continue to remain invested for some more time. First of all, as far as Vijaya Diagnostic is concerned, again a performer stock and has given good return also to investors. And
thank you. Gives me great pleasure now to bring on board the man of the moment, Mr. Ashish Chauhan, Managing Director and CEO of NSE. And you know, for the longest time, as a television market commentator, we get up in the morning and we say SGX is at X, Indian markets will open at X. So that in a sense has been a lead indicator. Well, nothing changes there, only that SGX now has become GIFT Nifty, and it's a big gift indeed, because the gift is that it has moved from SGX Singapore to India. And the man really instrumental in, really pressing, going ahead with the due diligence, ensuring that the transition is very smooth, is on my screen. So he's the man of the moment, Mr. Ashish Chauhan. So Mr. Chauhan, for NSE, it's like Diwali has come 3 months early, right? It's that kind of a moment.
No, thank you. I think in a way, this was a long cherished dream to bring the markets onshore from where they had gone, which is called offshoring. And of course, there were strategic reasons for a country to have pricing of its assets, especially important assets like markets. And that's what the IFSC was created for, to compete with the best and the brightest international services zone like Singapore or Dubai or Hong Kong. And that's where the GIFT City has been created to not only raise funds for India's growth, but also bring the price formation of Indian products, where India is hugely interested in dollar terms, and run all the time zones so that we are in a way in control of our destiny. So that's where I think today is a great day for India, and of course a great day for NSE too.
So, Mr. Chauhan, theoretically nothing changes, but technically a lot changes. So what is the technical part which will change now that it has become GIFT Nifty?
In a way, for people who are trading through Singapore, there are many of them who have not registered as FPIs in India, and for their own reasons, and they may never actually register with India, but many of them want India exposure either continually or in parts or for certain periods, and that's where they try to trade through Singapore, which will continue. Today, if a person in Indonesia is taking exposure on Nifty in Singapore, he or she will be just placing the order as if they were doing earlier also, that is till last Friday, and that order will slowly, not slowly, but very fast, travel into GIFT City, IFSC at NSE IX, and then match with other orders coming from other parts of the world through the Singapore, or directly into GIFT IFSC through the brokers sitting here. There are more than 60 brokers of Indian origin and even foreign origin sitting in GIFT City directly, and 40 more in pipeline. So they will also add into the liquidity which Singapore was giving till now, and that will actually enhance the overall liquidity into the SGX Nifty, which used to be called. Now GIFT Nifty will be much more liquid because two markets are placing orders in the same order book, and that of course gets much more liquidity going forward.
The local brokers have also registered. Can I safely assume that the size of the GIFT Nifty and the size, when I say the total liquidity and the volume which you mentioned, would be significantly higher than what it was in its previous avatar?
Yeah, that's my understanding, because almost a week back there were around $7 billion or $6.5 billion open interest. Today we are working with $9.4 billion open interest. And since morning, even on the first day, in first say 5 hours or less, we started at 6:30, so almost 5 hours. We have traded more than $520 million already in futures, because usually in the GIFT City, IFSC, there is no STT, there is no GST, there is no income tax for most. Even if the entity is from the GIFT City, they can figure out which 5 years out of 15 years they need to pay tax. Other 10 years they don't have to pay tax. So there are many, many tax benefits, and that's where futures have traded more traditionally compared to Indian markets in Singapore, and probably that will also happen here. But overall, because the pie increases, the number of players increase, number of investors that Singapore can reach out traditionally already is there. But on top of that, the Indian players who have customers in America or in Europe who are specializing in taking exposure on the Indian products will also be participating, and that's my fervent hope that overall the size of the market increases many times over going forward. Of course, our speed of our technology, algorithmic traders are used to our speed and scale. You know that NSE is now the largest exchange in the world of any type, and also the largest derivative exchange in the world for last 4 consecutive years. So our technology, our speed of execution, everything is kind of well known and well appreciated by algo traders and every investor across the world. And that's true even when this connector started working. This is pretty much the first of its kind in the world, where 2 countries at government levels, at regulator levels, and also at exchange levels have combined to create a single market.
Underappreciated aspect by equity investors and traders is that the role what NSE has played in terms of getting speed, connectivity, openness, and also demutualizing this entire way how the stock markets are done. I mean, the reason why India is commanding this premium is because we've got such a robust exchange which gives speed, efficiency, clarity, and there is no opaqueness. So Mr. Chauhan, what cycle will the GIFT Nifty follow? It is likely to trade for 21 hours, but will it be following a global calendar, which is that it may be a holiday in India, but GIFT Nifty will trade as SGX used to trade?
Traditionally, that has been the case for last 5 years, where the NSE, IFSC it used to be called, now it's called INSE IX, NSE International Exchange, has its own holiday schedules, which are more aligned with the rest of the world. Of course, there might be predefined national holidays like 15th August or 26th January, which may remain, but otherwise it has its own schedule, its own calendar, which are more aligned with the rest of the world.
4 instruments, Mr. Chauhan. As this product evolves and as you get more and more comfortable in running what could be called as a dual exchange, will more products be added in this?
Of course, even in this agreement which we have with the SGX, we have 4 indexes, which includes Bank Nifty and Fin Nifty and one more. But we also have started talking about how to add more products into our product basket. That includes the depository receipts, which we are offering on our own without Singapore being there. In terms of the US products, almost 100 companies, depository receipts like Microsoft, Google, Amazon. If you want to own them sitting in India, under LRS, you may be able to participate through the NSE Access depository receipt system. And similarly, we have plans to launch many more indexes on equities, but also on interest rate derivatives like government bond futures, corporate bond futures, some of the commodities where India is quite interested and wants to be in a way price setter. So those are the things which are in the pipeline. There are other interesting currency pairs. Currently, US dollar, Indian rupee kind of dominates the trading in the currencies. But over a period, India may want to do direct transactions with many other countries, and that's where the GIFT City will play an important role, and naturally the NSE IX also will play a role. Similarly, on the ODIs, that is overseas derivative instruments, which are being discussed as per the new budget announcements. So those also, the NSE IX may be able to play some role as decided by the regulators and the government. So overall, this becomes basically the prime market for the GIFT IFSC, which is competing not with the Indian jurisdiction, but largely with the foreign jurisdiction like Hong Kong, Dubai, Singapore, or London. And that's what we'll continue to add products as required going forward.
Take the liberty of extending my appointment with you with 2 more questions. I know it's a big day for you and you've got a long day ahead. Just 2 more questions. It was easy to get an equity instrument into India, sir. It is liquid. But the problem is ultimately the debt innovation. And globally, looking at the size of the debt market versus India, could we be seeing an innovation there?
Of course, in fact, if you look at the totally, even without people's knowledge, almost $75 to $80 billion of bonds for Indian corporates, masala bonds, dollar-denominated bonds have been listed on the GIFT City. So naturally, people have now larger exposure, even in debt, for the Indian economy. That's where basically they may want to have hedging instruments like corporate bond index futures or even government bond futures, and we have been trying for long to be included in the bond indexes across the world. But when Nifty started getting traded, it was not the international index which got the popularity. Basically, the Indian index, that is Nifty, got popularity. And similarly, if designed well, the Indian debt products also can have good market share and actually satisfy many of the hidden needs which the investors have, even in the debt side, currency side, and even as combinations of debt and currencies or equities and currencies. Those are the kind of combinations we would be looking at going forward, in addition to the commodities.
We'll trade for 21 hours. In Indian markets, we start at 9:15, we close at 3:30. I know there is this yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, which continues in terms of whether the extension of trading hours should happen or not. How soon do you think there would be a decisive decision?
in a way, these are all what I call work in progress. We need to take everyone along. Around a year back, I had raised this issue when I joined NSE, and many brokers had accepted that we need to do this because in a way we need to align with the rest of the world in terms of our market timings. And even Singapore that time was trading 16 hours. Now, of course, GIFT IFSC is trading 21 hours. And so there is even more need to align the domestic numbers and domestic timings with the rest of the world. And usually what happens is the news doesn't happen during 9:50 to 3:30. News can happen even in the night. And the users, the investors need to have an ability to execute their views based on those news as and when they happen. And that's why most markets in the world now, in some or other ways, allow investors to trade much longer hours. And that's what our plan was. We had set up a broker working group for NSE to decide on what needs to be done, why, how, which products. And so they have come to some sort of a conclusion, which will be exposed to the larger broking community. And once everyone agrees, we will take it to SEBI for their approvals also, and then we will move forward. So, but it may not happen so fast. At the same time, if everyone agrees, we would be able to move forward as quickly as possible.
So, I'm not putting words in your mouth, sir. Yes, no, I don't know. These are the three options. So, I'm going to keep I don't know aside. It is not a yes, it is not a no. But in FY24, do you think a decision will be taken, whether it's yes or no?
In some ways, I would say the decision is plausible because even this SGX Nifty to come to GIFT City, nobody was actually confident even till last year, and it has happened. We are talking about it today. More than $500 million has traded over last 5 hours. So, sometimes we can discuss for years and suddenly we can execute in a very short period. So my hope is always for sort of good, and I'm sure even in this case, it may happen sooner than we expect.
Mr. Chauhan, I guess like we were discussing on the Hindi channel, आज मिठाई खाने और खिलाने का दिन है. So congratulations. SGX becoming GIFT Nifty, it is indeed a gift. Thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you for joining us, and thank you with your presence.
Thank you.
Ladies, back to you.
Yes. And on that note, that was a very interesting chat that has come in. Very interesting for us as well, right? In GIFT City Nifty. But on that note, viewers, we're going to sip into a short break. Don't go anywhere because we'll be back with your stock-related queries after this break. Welcome back, and you're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. Let's keep it going with all your stock-related queries, and thank you so much, Kunal and Ashish, for waiting on with us as well. And the first query is coming in on CDSL now, and this one is from Balan. Is it advisable to sell CDSL and buy a BSC for a period of 1 year, Kunal? And they're making currently 10% on CDSL in terms of profit. What's your advice here?
I think we should continue to stay put. This could probably be a big breakout for CDSL. So, the stock was trading into a range for the last 6-7 months. End of 2022, it fell below the 1100 mark, and from there it fell to almost 900. And today, I think the stock has managed to come back above the 1100 mark in a very strong candlestick pattern. So, this could probably be a breakout for CDSL. And if the mean reversion is something to go by, then we could be looking at least a 1300 to 1400 target, possibly in the next 6 months to 12 months for CDSL. So the prospects could be very, very intriguing from here on. I think we should give it more time, possibly the next 6 months to 12 months at least.
Okay, moving on, and Ashish, coming to you for the last query that I took, that was from Raja. The query was not on Star Health, I want to correct myself. The query was on Strides Pharma. He bought the shares around 440 odd levels. Just wanted to know your view on the medium term outlook for this particular counter. Ashish, I guess you are on mute.
So if investors having long-term time frame, particularly Stride Pharma is also looking good now. The stock has started giving, upward movement also. And again, in pharma sector, the valuation of Stride looks much cheaper compared to other peer set. So my suggestion will be to remain invested in Stride Pharma, and those investors who are looking for some quality pharma stock. In fact, Stride also qualify as one of the pick at this valuation. Even buy at this price is also advisable.
Uh, Kunal, this next query is from Ritika Singh from Faridabad, and they want your advice in terms of an entry level for Vinati Organics. They already hold 50 shares at 1,300. So, in terms of more like an averaging, what is the advice over here? Can they accumulate more at the current levels? And if not, then what is that they should keep an eye out in terms of levels to accumulate?
I don't see any reason to average the stock unless you are a long-term investor and you have a time frame which is specifically more than at least 2 to 3 years. Because for the last 2 or 3 years, the stock has been trading into a range. I think from 1690, 1650 approximately is the lower end of this range, and closer to 2000, 2200 is the upper band of the range for Vinti Organics. The stock has been into a huge consolidation since the last 3 to 4 years. So the point is that if you are okay investing for the next 2 to 3 years, only then it makes sense. There is no change of volumes for the stock price. So, what happens is typically we anticipate that when the stock is about to get into a breakout mode or the consolidation is likely to get over for the stock price, but we have not seen any of those changes happening for the charts for Viniti Organics. So, unless you are a long-term investor specifically, only then it makes sense to buy the stock, and that too maybe closer to 1700, 1750 mark, where the risk reward could be a lot more better.
Okay, moving on. And Ashish, coming to you for next one. Pradeep is a long-term investor and he wants your advice on a couple of names where he's looking for a fresh investment. The stock he has in mind are Hero MotoCorp, Shalby, as well as Lemon Tree Hotels. So any stock that you like at this point in time, probably for next 2 years of investment?
So the best pick is Shelby, if you ask me, because this is again a sector I am very bullish, healthcare sector, and the way Shelby has expanded their franchisee, and there's a lot of improvement in their working also. So Shelby is a stock which can give you maybe another 50% kind of upside in next 1 year. So instead of Hero MotoCorp and other stock, I think you can take in this mid cap healthcare company, and you can make very good returns.
Okay, let's move on to the next query. And Ashish, I'm going to come back to you for this one. We have this query coming in from Visakha from Kolkata. Long-term investor here with a vision for 2 years. They have questions on Bank of Baroda, which they are holding 100 shares at 149 rupees and 20 shares of Sonata Software at 546 rupees. Should they book profit, hold, or should they look to average more now?
They are already in profit. There is no need to average. In fact, Bank of Baroda is also comparatively much stable stock and has given very good return compared to smaller PSU banks. So I'll not advise to book profit in Bank of Baroda. I think you can remain invested here. And as far as Sonata Software is concerned, again, this is a stock you can remain invested. I'm expecting very good set of numbers in Sonata Software in this quarter also. In fact, those investors who want to add, just wait for some correction in Sonata Software and buy this stock before result.
The next question is on IDFC First Bank. Renuka Thomas has bought 1,000 shares at a price of 54 rupees. Wants to know, is this a time to sell and book profits in this particular name?
Not really. I think unless you are in need of capital or to look out to have a better opportunity in terms of other stocks, only then it makes sense to maybe book 50% profits over here. But if not, then I think you should stay put for IDFC First Bank. The stock is coming out of a huge correction. Something which the stock had shown, I think, in the last 1 or 2 years from 35 or 40 rupees, if I'm not wrong. This rally had started off for IDFC First Bank, and it's gaining a lot of pace as well as momentum for itself. So you should give it ideally more time and hold on to the stock. Your purchase price is also quite at lower levels. So I think you're sitting on a lot of profits as well as good buffer. I think you should continue to hold on to it from a long-term play, at least the next 12 to 18 months, if not more.
Ashish, the next query is from Mahalakshmi from Hyderabad, and they want to know that they're holding 25 shares of Grindwell Norton at 1,950 rupees and 25 shares of Fiam Industries at 1,790 rupees. Should they continue to hold this for the long term or maybe look to sell this?
No, in my view, both stocks have given very good returns. And in fact, if I see Grindwell Norton, this is a stock just at 50 rupees below 52-week high. And these capital good company, there's again capital good company, MNC company, and performing very well. So there's no reason that you should book profit here. As well as in PM industry also, in my view, auto ancillary sector where they operate is again doing very well. And PM is again a stock which has given very good returns to investors. And you can continue to remain invested because the way automobile sales are picking up, the bulb or particular LED lights, what PM industry make is also in quite in demand. So remain invested in both is my advice.
Okay, moving on, and the next query is from Anjali, and she's wishing Guru Purnima to both of you, Ashish as well as Kunal, because she's been following you guys, is what she mentioned. And the next query is for you, Ashish. She's having shares of Engineer India at a price of bought at a price of 79 rupees. Wants to know, is that a hold or book profits at this point in time?
Thank you very much for your wishes first. As far as Engineers India is concerned, again, this is a stock handsomely rewarded its investors. And in my view, you can have some more patience and remain invested here because the way capital good industries are growing or the way things are happening in oil and gas sectors where expansions are concerned, Engineers India is going to get most of the project wherever PSU oil refineries expand, along with whatever is happening in Gulf. I'm expecting very good order book going forward also in Engineers India. Remain invested. I'm expecting another 25% upside from here in next 6 months' time. So just be patient and be there.
Okay. On that note, viewers, we're going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more stocks after this break, and we'll answer all your stock-related queries after this.
Welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now, show where we get you answers for all your stock related queries from our experts. And continuing the same, the next question is for you, Ashish. Meena from Chennai wants suggestion on two names, Deepak Fertilizers as well as Balaji Amines. Any of the counters that you like for a fresh buy at this point in time?
Are looking good after the correction. If you ask me, the Deepak fertilizer was one of the favorite stock in this particular sector and handsomely rewarded investors. And we have seen some correction happening in fertilizer pack overall, where Deepak has also corrected. But fundamentally, very strong company. And in my view, this is the time that we should start looking at fertilizer stock also, because monsoon is picking up pan India, and at this time, fertilizer stocks should do well. So, accumulation can be started in Deepak Fertilizer now. As far as Balaji Amine is concerned, again, fundamentally very strong company. And in my view, whatever the worst was there in chemical space is also getting over. And gradually, in a staggered way, we should start accumulating chemical stocks. And Balaji Amine is again a good pick, but have 1 year time frame in both these stocks.
Right. Let's move on to the next one. And Karnataka Bank is the query which is on Kunal, and this one is from Subramaniam. They have the shares and they bought it at 132 rupees. Should they hold or book profits?
I think we should continue to hold on. We've just seen the first part of a major rally happening for Karnataka Bank in the last, I think, 1 week or so. The stock in 2022 also had done exceptionally well, and there were many periods of strong rally for the stock. So I think it's a good stock, has proven its mettle over the last 2 years, and there's been a decisive change of trend for Karnataka Bank on the long-term charts as well. You should continue to hold on to it from a long-term play for better prospects.
Okay, Kunal, the next query is from Apala Raju from Bangalore, and he has Ashoka Buildcoin 550 shares at a price of 106. I don't know whether he's correct or not, but he has just highlighted that the moving average is showing a declining trend for the past 1 year. So at this point in time, what should he do? Sell on losses, average, or hold on?
Well, I would suggest to exit the stock. And no point holding the stock at current levels as well, because the trends and the charts have been a lot more underperforming in nature for Ashoka Buildcon, now trading at closer to, I think, 80.8 approximately. The 200 DMAs, the long-term averages, the medium-term averages, all of them are showing signs of sluggishness. So I think it's better to try and exit the stock at current levels.
Kunal, I beg your pardon. He has bought 550 shares at a price of 106. So the buying price is 106, but the advice remains the same.
Yes.
Okay, and on that note, let's get started with the rapid fire then. And the first query on the rapid fire front, Ashish, is on Nureka Limited, 120 shares at 450 rupees. This is from Poonam. What should we do?
At this price, I'm not expecting any major upside here.
Okay, Kunal, the next question is from Gopinath. Wants your advice on Hindustan Unilever or ITC? Any fresh investment advice for the next 6 months?
You can prefer ITC at current levels.
Ashish Titagar, the viewer has bought at 89 rupees. Should they hold or book profit? This query is from Vijay.
Then Titagar Rail or Titagar Wagon? I'm not sure.
Titagar Rail.
I remain invested, though you are making good profit, but be there.
Okay, Kunal, Subrata Mukherjee wants your advice on TCS. He has bought these shares at a price of 3,300 rupees. Wants a long-term view on this.
Continue to hold on.
Okay, Kunal, the next query is on Chola Financials, and the viewer wants to know what should they do if they're making good gains here. They continue to hold or exit. They're not given the percent of gains.
So it depends on your time frame. If it's short term, then I think at 1195, 1200 is a good time to book out short term gains.
Okay, Kunal, Dasaradi has bought 200 shares of NTPC at a price of 103. Is this time to hold on or book profits in this one?
Hold. If possible, you have additional capital, look to add even further at current levels of 190.
Ashish, Satyan wants to know they are holding 150 shares of Central Bank at a price of 27.60. What is the view for the next 1 to 2 years here?
See, again, these are the PSU stock which doesn't move quite often, like how their private sector PS move. So my suggestion will be to exit from Central Bank, instead look at IDFC Bank or Equitas as a small finance bank.
Okay, Kunal, Sushil Kumar from Trichy has bought BPCL at a price of 479. It was a purchase a year back, so the stock is buzzing. What to do next?
Hold on. If possible, look to average at current levels.
Okay, and that was the last query that we will be taking today on the show. Thank you so much, Kunal, as well as Ashish, for joining in with us. And thank you so much, viewers, for sending us your queries. But with that, we're absolutely out of time on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now on Nifty Now. It's a goodbye from Shrishti, myself, as well as the team who put this show together. Don't go anywhere. Markets at noon. We'll take the action forward.